today. I'm just going to give it another minute here for everybody to get logged in and get situated, and then we'll begin with our presentation and discussion with our special guest today. Okay, 11:32, so I suppose we'll get started here. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on Benovate Explores. This is our monthly webinar exploration of workplace wellness and advanced employee engagement programs. My name is Melissa Hennessy. I'm one of the marketing specialists here on the team at Benovate. And joining me today will be a couple of members of the Benovate team and our special guest, Marina from Perfector. She'll be sharing with you a little bit about her program and how they bring this technology and the education into different workplaces. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome, and thank you for taking the time today. We'll be exploring and spending some time next year just to give you a little insight into the plan for Benovate Explorers, some different niche workplace programs, and sharing with you some different ways to engage your employees and tie all of those programs together. We're really excited to bring some neat new ideas to the table or niche type programs that maybe you haven't heard about before. So we'll dive right in here. Just so you know, at the end of our conversation today with our guests, we'll have plenty of time for some live Q&A. So please feel free to join us live through the Hangouts link, or you can tweet your questions to us at Benovate using hashtag BenovateExplores. All right, so let me move this over here. I already talked about this. That's what we're doing today. So what I'd like to do now is introduce you to Marina.
Hi, everybody. My name's Marina Prospero. I'm the CEO of Perfector Corp and a corporate posture specialist. I studied and became a certified posture specialist with the National Posture Institute. And what we focus on is exercise therapy to strengthen and support the postural muscles and to keep you strong and healthy through proper alignment of your spine.
I think it is such an interesting field. I was lucky enough to be down at a conference with a few of our other team members from Benovate. We were at the Healthcare Revolution conference down in Orlando, and that's where Marina and I met and had a handful of really good conversations. As did, I know, Michael Birdman. I think you're on our call today. I'm not sure if you're on.
Yes, I am. Hello.
But I know you were a big fan of what we learned from Marina as well.
I really was. I mean, I've had ongoing neck and back pain through most of my life, as I think most people do in one form or another. And watching Marina and other people at the conference wearing their device certainly grabbed attention, right? So just from a marketing standpoint, it was quite clever. But then when I came and talked to her about, what my issues were and what my thinking was and how we look at how many people suffer from this, listening to how they approach this and the simple things that you can do to be able to make that happen, I was sold on what that was and the health benefits just for myself personally. But I think it has a much broader impact to the overall health and engagement of a population, which Benovate focuses on as well.
Yeah, definitely. For sure, it stood out to me as well. I think this kind of a program is probably something that a lot of workplaces are missing. So, Marina, tell us a little bit more about the background of Perfector.
Well, Perfector goes back about 15 years now. It started with my partner having developed a elastic resistance harness to strengthen the body, to apply resistance. When I met Colin, I had severe sciatica and was considering back surgery. He put his device on me and instantly I was lifted and holding my body in a way that I had never actually held my body. I saw so much promise in it, and my core competence was in management and business and startups. So I thought, if I'm going to put my weight behind anything, this is something that I feel has real purpose to it. Well, within a year of developing the tool with Colin and working on finding our suppliers and getting a really good design, I was using the prototype and my back pain went away. And in 14 years, I can successfully say I have not suffered from any chronic back pain. So I'm a believer, and I'm actually the #1 case study for the product. I've been using it the longest, specifically for relief of back pain and treatment of posture issues.
Sure.
Go ahead, Melissa, please.
Well, it sounds like it had a big impact on you right away.
It did. There was nothing like it. I had tried everything. I tried all sorts of therapeutic release techniques. So chiropractic and massage therapy. I'd seen an osteo. I had tried cranial sacral, Reiki, acupuncture. I really ran the gamut of it. And it was chronic. And I felt my standard of living just going down and down. I was a young woman and I really had no freedom because of this pain. So when it was a physical shift, I actually needed support, like something to wear to support me, but not brace me statically. And that's where Perfector is different, and we're in leading the market in wearable strength exercise tubing. Most people just exercise with the elastic resistance tubing, and we actually created a wearable device with the tubing. So we just took that therapeutic exercise treatment, and we took it one step further, made it ergonomic, supportive, and again, something that you can exercise with, because exercise therapy is really the treatment for poor posture, neck, back, and shoulder pain.
Sure. Wow, that's fascinating. I mean, I've had conversations throughout my career with different wellness component type programs. And, you see these companies finally making the leap into some kind of ergonomic support, right? Maybe they're offering better chairs to their employee, or they're starting to take that next step. Is that really where you see people starting to have access to something like this? Or do you see more individuals kind of seeking it out on their own?
Well, it's interesting. We began really selling the device in 2009, and we started on the ground floor. We went to trade shows and consumer shows. So we were standing on the floor with all of the other vendors for hours. We weren't the ones getting fatigued. They were, and they were sharing with us. Everybody who came into our booth shared such vital information. And what they told us is, I need it at work because that's where the deterioration is happening. And I want my employer to be supportive of this, to be aware of this issue, and to ultimately help compensate for the cost of it. So we tried to tie all of that information together. We created a program. We created the best device we could, with literally thousands of people giving us feedback. And we've advanced it to a point where we feel we have a really solid solution for people.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's really been a lot of development from that initial kind of idea of here's the thing we need to solve to where you're at now.
I definitely think that one thing that companies need to be is more responsive to the market. So listen to what people have to say and then develop the product based on that. A lot of people run out there and develop a product and put it out on the market, and it's ineffective because they're missing some of the issues. You have to make it easy. You got to make it universal. You have to make it something that people can integrate into their daily activities of living. So we really listened to that and responded to it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, that you can't just kind of go for the next shiny object or the cool gadget. It's got to be that fully formed idea as well of what people are really looking for.
There's great ideas out there, but they're not all great products. So
nope, that makes sense.
We wanted something that worked for us daily. We sit in front of the computers for hours a day. We wanted something that were treating us. In an aging population, posture is the #1 issue. what we found is the statistics around posture are massive. So one of the things that we found is, as the older you get, the worse your posture is, the more expensive your health care is. So posture is the cornerstone to your good health. Proper alignment and strong muscles that support your body are really the answer to a basis of where to start your health prevention. So we really love to say, posture is the cornerstone. Start from there. We seem to eliminate a lot of problems when people start to deal with their posture first.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. And it was something that I hadn't really thought about before our conversation. And when we talked after the conference too, I think it's really interesting the way how much it can affect, right? We know that, or we're starting to learn more about how what we eat really has a larger impact on our overall health, right? And that's something that has started to seem really obvious. But I think this to me is something that wasn't an obvious thing until we had that conversation and that light bulb kind of went off, that maybe if I did make a couple of adjustments, in addition to what I'm already doing, the exercise I'm doing outside of the office, if I can make adjustments to how I'm working, even just how I'm sitting, that can have a big impact on overall long-term health, and more than just back pain. I think that's the thing to me that people don't realize, what you were talking about, how it's not just supporting lower back pain or sitting up straight to make sure your back is a little bit better, that there's so much more under the surface.
Oh, our posture is 100% supported by our muscular structure. We have 170 supporting muscles in our spine, and they all feed into our spine and help the flexing of our vertebrae. Sure. If those muscles get weak or they're not getting the proper nutrients through circulation of blood flow, you're going to atrophy, and then you're going to start to see things like numbness, headaches, chronic neck pain, mid-back pain, and of course, the one that seems to be the biggest issue, low back pain.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, so there really are a lot of components then to this idea. And you found too, in the research you've done, talk a little bit, because I think this was really interesting, about how it's not just like a triggering a Pavlov response, like someone reminding you to sit up. That's not really what's going to make the impact overall.
It's so true. We begin our lives and nobody gives us a methodology about posture. They don't tell us that there's a science behind this, and there is really a way to achieve proper spinal alignment. Mm-hmm. If we had these 4 points, which I call the 4 points of good posture, at the onset of let's say when we start school and start sitting in those desks for those long periods of time. Because sedentary lifestyle, it really constitutes for almost 60% of our waking life that we're sitting. Wow. So we want to be sitting and standing properly. And that is going to help generate the core. So if you go into it, it's a very simple structure.
Sure.
But if I reminded you 5 times or 10 times a day, Melissa, to sit up straight, where is the basis for what straight is for you?
Interesting.
So if you have no fundamental knowledge of what proper spinal alignment is, you're going to correct and collapse. Correct, collapse.
Yep. And I've hunched over. Yep.
Oh yeah, and it's an epidemic at this point, and people really actually hate themselves for it, and they know that appearance-wise, people are making judgments on them through their posture. Actually, people make judgments about you within 30 seconds based on your posture.
Wow.
So it comes to, it really is a whole issue of the impression that you're putting forth. So it's a very simple knowledge. If everybody had this knowledge from a young age, we'd be set better. So the first is to get that head right over your shoulder. Your ear should be in the middle of your shoulder. The shoulders should be relaxed back and down with those shoulder blades retracted. A large portion of the people that we analyze can't retract their shoulder blades anymore. If you can't retract your shoulder blades, you can't achieve proper alignment. So that mobility in your shoulder carriage is key. The next thing is that chest needs to be aimed at the sky. So you want to be able to hold your head high, but also expand your chest and let your chest lead. And then automatically, by achieving these other three things, your abdominals are going to engage. You won't even have to do anything. Automatically, your core gets activated and starts to hold you up. It's that core power that ultimately really holds up your body and keeps your spine in alignment. So we need to keep all of those things. Again, the head is quite heavy, can weigh up to 20 pounds. So if we let that head hang in front, it's drawing our whole body downwards. So we got to keep the head up and nicely balanced.
Huh. That's really interesting. That for me was really key, was seeing this diagram and the idea of how to go through those steps so that I am not just trying to sit up straight. I mean, I can hear my mother's voice in my head, right? Sit up straight, you know, and we would all just pop up like this. But this makes a lot more sense to me, the balance of this and where I should be pointing. Even just that going through that simple exercise, you know, if I had a reminder once a day even to go through this, I think that can make a big impact.
Well, awareness is key. When you are aware of how you're holding your body and then actively trying to improve correctly, you're going to get benefits. But if your muscles are too weak and can't support that, that's when people begin this stand up straight, collapse, stand up straight, collapse. And that's not going to get you anywhere. And that's why it's key to bring in the exercise therapy with resistance training. It is the treatment and prevention to develop strong posture for life.
Got a larger image here too. Let me just make sure everybody can see that in case anybody who's listening or has dialed in would like a screenshot. You've got this, and I'll be sure to include it in the recap email, Marina, that goes out as well, because I think this is really key.
And you can see in this picture the tool that we've developed, which is the elastic resistance tube. It's got the supportive cushion that fits right back in between the shoulder blades, ensuring that your shoulder blades are retracted back and down, with the mid-back being supported by that cushion. And then those handles, of course, that draw down the lower back are for you to stretch and flex with. So we give you, we've developed 5 very simple exercises that increase your circulation, your range of motion, your flexibility, and strengthen your postural supporting muscles. So it's a very simple universal system. It's one size fits all, fully adjustable. And this is what we felt we needed to develop to give people a tool. We say 1 hour a day is great, but the longer you wear it, the stronger you get. And the more you exercise with the tool, the better your circulation flexibility, and you're mitigating the risk of atrophy.
Absolutely. So, okay, so an hour a day you said is ideal and a good place to start for sure. Because then you're getting not just that supported position and the training in your muscles, but then you can also be doing the strengthening exercises and building up that way as well.
You know, it's one thing to be in good alignment. It's a whole different story applying the exercise therapy. The exercise therapy is the leader. It is the winner in this. You know, there's a lot of tools out there that may remind you to sit up straight, but if they're not actively changing your physiology by helping you get stronger, you're deteriorating.
Sure. And you're missing out on that.
Yeah, so we need to be doing something. It doesn't need to be 2 hours at the gym with a personal trainer. It just needs to be a targeted and reliable system. So we feel like we really hit it with this one. And it's definitely a solution to what's happening in the work environment, which is the fact that ergonomics nature is something outside of your body. You can change your screen, you can change your mouse, you can change your chair, but you really need to change your body.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing to have those supportive devices, or, over time we've evolved the furniture that's available to us to kind of support that better environment. But you're right, just like a shift in any other healthy habit, it's got to come from within and from how you're working on your own self or your own body.
So
You really kind of staggering statistics with me. I don't know that I realized how vastly this was affecting people that sit at desks most of the time. And obviously this can be, of course, an issue or a concern for anybody in any kind of, job position, whether you're moving around a lot or you're sedentary most of the day. But this kind of stuff really made me take a step back.
this
The idea
is a
that,
serious issue now, Melissa. This is a big cost to companies. If they don't deal with this sooner rather than later, especially with our smartphones and the screens and the iPads, people are spending more and more time with their head down with the tech neck issue. And this is a very costly issue. As you can see, within 1 year, it costs almost $20,000, but that can very quickly escalate. And once somebody hits chronic sciatica or chronic neck pain, and they start to see somebody like a surgeon, or they basically have to stay off work, or they can't stay focused, this is a big cost. Productivity goes way down. Distraction is way up because all they can think of is their pain.
right, right. And if that's all you can concentrate on, and you're not sure what you're supposed to do beyond it, you go to your chiropractor, kind of like your story, what you were talking about. You kind of get pushed down a path of, here is some pretty severe medical intervention that could be in front of you, but the costs of that are just astronomical, let alone what that does to your own physique, your own physical health.
Oh, it's so true. We really have to take the matters into our own hands. A strong body is one of the best things that we can face our life with. So I see a lot of rapid deterioration in the work environment. Occupational wellness really needs to start with helping people build strength, exercise, eat properly, proper hydration, and productivity, but performance improves immediately. And people just feel better about themselves. Just to let you know, posture isn't just one thing. It is an emotional issue and a mental issue and a physical issue. So we've talked about the physical issue. Let's talk about the emotional issue for a second. If you don't feel very good about yourself, you're going through some grief, a marital breakup, or you don't like your boss, these emotions arise and they make you feel poor about yourself, and your physique will reflect that. Also, what's going on in your head, if you're too stressed out, if you're distracted, again, your physique is going to reflect that.
Sure.
So we like to say that actually, by lifting your body, you are actually affecting your emotional and mental self, so much so that your cortisol levels go up. Cortisol levels go down. Cortisol is what is released when you feel stressed. Those go down. And actually, testosterone goes up. And that's what makes you feel powerful and confident. So immediately upon just supporting your alignment and sitting up taller, you're going to have better performance.
It reminds me of those studies that they did a couple of years ago on the Superman pose or the power pose. And they did a study of, I think it was at the time, just women going into either large meetings or going into interviews. And, they would stand in the powerful pose for, a predetermined amount of time. And then they would sort of test their, a couple of different factors, I think, within those meetings, but that confidence level, the success level, the efficiency, there was a number of different things they looked at. It really reminds me of that. I think this is something too that, for me, when we've talked to different employer groups, right, they want to bring ideas like this to their team, or maybe they've seen that study or they've seen a tool like this and they think, okay, how can I bring this out to my team? And it feels like it's really far away. But I think the program that you guys have, especially when combined with like a broader wellness or well-being type program, it makes it so much more accessible.
Oh yeah, we developed it for employers to integrate simply and easily and not disrupt the daily work environment, but to promote better productivity and performance. So it's such a simple tool and it's for everybody. It's not, and I like to say everybody. A lot of people think, oh, you know, my body's not the right body for it. And I'm like, no, any body will benefit from our tool. We've tried it on all shapes and sizes. At this point, I think we have analyzed over 30,000 people with the tool. It's an instant result, but then it's the applied program of those 5 stretching exercises that really create the prevention and the treatment. So then we start to see pain relief. We start to see stronger stance, a better sitting, better thinking, better digestion. I mean, the list is it's a long one, but it really is the core of wellness.
See, and I think that's so interesting to a group, to an interested, let's say, leadership department in any size of company. And I see this working in a really large corporate type environment, all the way down to the smaller mom and pop or startup shop type sizes. I think this is something that could be impactful, like you were saying, on everybody, but every type of work culture as well. I could see this having a huge impact. Just the education alone, I think, can make a difference. Let alone once you're empowered to know what to do to try those strength exercises, right? And to really take that next step. It's not something that requires you to be away from your desk for an hour and a half, right? You don't have to leave for a chiropractor appointment. You can try this and see how that makes an impact over time while you're working practically.
And in the new work environment, like places like Google and Apple, they have a lot of flex workspaces. So you're not sitting at a desk. You might be sitting at a picnic table or in a beanbag chair. So where is your ergonomics there? It's now been completely abandoned in certain environments.
Yeah.
But we need to be wearing our ergonomics. We like to call it wearable ergonomics because you can take it with you and you can use it. Like used to people will say, oh, I can't wear that all day. And we say, you don't have to. You only have to wear it when you feel like you want to. Right. It's something that if you can just commit to an hour a day, and that can even be intermittently, then you're going to get the benefits. It's better than doing nothing, Melissa. And so many people are doing nothing.
Exactly. Well, it's time to take that first step and to provide something like that. That is one thing that I find very encouraging. I think the more employers that I spend talking to, or I hear our sales team talking to, they're hearing more and more from more and more companies that they want to be providing and supporting a healthier culture within their workplace. They know, and they're seeing the same studies we are, that those engaged employees, the ones that are sticking around, the ones that are more productive, it's because they're being fully supported as an individual from a health perspective, from a well-being perspective. You know, they have access to programs like yours or other niche type, let's say disease management as kind of a broad idea. And those are the companies where you are seeing that higher level of employee engagement and employee satisfaction, really.
It's time for the employer to step in and be supportive of their employees' well-being, overall well-being, not just while they're at work.
Exactly.
You know, if they leave work and they're unhappy and they take that home and then the cycle day after day, you know, we spend longer at work than we ever have now.
Yes.
So it's important to integrate these wellness ideas during our work day.
Yep, absolutely. You know, I know we're at the top of the hour here. I was keeping an eye on Twitter to see if there were any questions coming in. I haven't seen anything too much, just a lot of people sharing the ideas for today. Did anybody on the call have any questions? I'll pause for a second here just to see if anyone wanted to chime in or if there was anything else to add.
I have a quick question. This is Catherine from Benovate. So let's say a company gets the tool, they've educated people, really shared the information. How do you build the confidence for people to start making that change? So, I mean, the tool looks kind of funny. It looks kind of funny to stand at your desk and do stretches. What would you say to somebody or group just to encourage them to really start making that cultural change to focus on posture?
Great question. What we find is the desire exists. People they already know that they're suffering. They already know that posture is a concern to them. If they have the information and it's a simple, targeted solution, they're really willing to adopt it. But you know what really works is support from coworkers and the employer. So if everybody's in it together, everybody feels great. And then you start to see rapid results, long-term benefits, and really overall camaraderie around this issue. So it's interesting how people perceive people that have great posture. You're either, wow, that person's so confident, like Tony Robbins, wow, he owns the room. Or you see somebody that, oh, that person's a little ostentatious. Oh, put away your ego. We've got to discard that idea now. We're really talking about the cornerstone of good health. So walking and sitting with confident and proper alignment is one of the most important actions that you can take daily for I call it a investment program. The best investment you can make in yourself is good posture today and then every day for life.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kat. I think that was a good point. I think we see that a lot when a leadership group or, at that higher decision maker level kind of finally gets over whatever hurdle they had, whatever, was blocking them, and they really start to see the benefits of wellness and well-being and workplace well-being programs, these kind of total programs that package everything together. I think once they can get to that point, then everything just explodes from there. Then there's such a world of options that they can bring to their employees and really improve that, so that we go from this sort of humdrum check in, check out type of a workplace to more of a culture, like you're talking about, more of a supportive environment. Which for me, that's what I was looking for when I changed jobs a couple of years ago. I didn't want to be in a cube farm anymore where I was just a number. I wanted to work somewhere where I had that appreciation and that camaraderie with everyone. That's a really interesting point.
Well, I commend your boss, Michael.
Yes.
Such an initiative.
Yes.
He knew he had an issue. He was concerned about his team, and he was proactive. He put the money on the table and was ready to put the effort in immediately. He saw that this was an opportunity to act right there and then. So I want to encourage every employer out there to take the initiative. This is a solution available to everybody right now. We make the product in the US, it's the highest quality, and we've developed it for years with professionals. So we're so excited to be able to offer it. And thank you so much to the Benovate team. You've been such a joy to discuss this issue with. You're so lovely, all of you. And really, your work environment is reflective of what we're all trying to achieve.
Exactly. We figure we've got to practice what we preach. I will say this, I really appreciate you taking the time to have this discussion with us, because I know you and I have talked about this a number of times. Kat and I and you, we've all had these conversations separately, and I'm really excited to bring this out to our list, to our clients, and to the people that are looking for these types of programs. That's the whole point of these webinars, is to have these exploration conversations and hopefully discover and discuss new ways to really not just extrinsically kind of motivate employees or try to offer something, but this is a way to really take that next step and to really put something impactful in front of and around, very supportive of your employees.
Yes.
Well, I know we're back. I don't want to cut us off, but I want to say a big thank you to Marina for joining us today and sharing all the information. I'll be sure in the follow-up that goes out, there will be links to the website in there, as well as a couple of resources, so that if you need more information, you can get a hold of her. We will be picking up Benovate Explorers again in January. There won't be a webinar in December, so look for that schedule next year. If you're not already signed up on the list, if you joined us today through a forwarded link, or if you came across us on YouTube, please feel free to visit benovate.com/explorers to sign up, or just follow us on Twitter. If you have ideas for future episodes, we'd love to hear it. Just send it over to us on Twitter, or you can email us as well. Thank you again, Marina, for joining us today.
Thanks, Melissa. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you, everybody else who joined. Have a great rest of your day.